Hi, thanks for joining me this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I have Amy Ziff here today, and Amy is the founder of a certification called MADESAFE. And just to give you a little background, I met Amy quite a few years ago at a conference, and she was at that point just thinking about starting this certification. And, it was something that she was looking into and thinking about and getting feedback about. And she just felt strongly that, we needed some type of a better certification for non-toxic products. And so then over the years, I kept track of Amy, and it was super great to see that she actually did start this nonprofit company and started this certification, and now it's really gaining steam, and I personally view it kind of as the gold standard for non-toxic products. So I'd love, Amy, for you just to tell my audience a little bit about, why you decided to start Made Safe, what was important about that, and just a little bit about what it is. So.
Sure. So I started Made Safe because I brought my twins home from the hospital and they were allergic to things, frankly, I didn't even know you could be allergic to. Things like diapers and wipes and lotions that the hospital had actually given to me, the nursing pillow that I was using to breastfeed them on. And I had an older daughter, and I just knew, their little bodies didn't have to be broken out in hives and angry red rashes. They didn't have to be vomiting. They didn't have to be having these relatively extreme reactions at just days old. And so I quickly set out to figure out, like, what in the world is going on for my children and how can I make this stop? And that just led me down the rabbit hole of learning that even though I considered myself a self-declared ecoista, a green shopper who was shopping and spending a lot of money at Whole Foods and other places to buy what I thought were better products, was that there is so little regulation around what goes into our products that no matter where we're shopping, we don't necessarily know the full story, and that it's really hard unless you have not necessarily a degree in toxicology, but or chemistry, but unless you've really studied this area to start to unpack what is in our products. And it wasn't until years later that I started working with brands and working with them under NDA so that all things were really revealed to us at Made Safe, that I learned that there's even more of a story than the label tells you. You can't know everything that's going into a product just basing it on the label. It's so much more complex than that. But I didn't know that at the time. At the time, I was just trying to solve my kids' problems and their allergies and sicknesses. And I was like, I think I can do this. And so once that set me off and I learned about all of these chemicals that could go unnamed into our everyday products, and then the impact of each of those chemicals that they can have on their growing, developing bodies and brains, I just thought, wait a minute, this is bonkers, and we have to be able to do something about this. And that was really when I started arriving at this concept of a label, because at least a label would give us and give the brands that were doing a better job. And I did see brands that were doing a better job, a way to, hang up a signpost and say, we are made with safe ingredients. We've consciously crafted. This isn't by accident. This is by design. And this is the better way of making products. And that's grown into the Made Safe certification, but the science behind it was developed by Non-Toxic Certified, our parent company. And it's this notion of an ecosystem approach. And that's looking at ingredients and eliminating, more than 5,000 ingredients that we ban. That's more than any other country in the world bans outright. Just no, we don't want, high risk pesticides, harmful VOCs, toxic solvents, endocrine active ingredients. Those are all those ones that impact behavioral, developmental, reproductive, neurological toxins. And we just eliminate all of those from the get-go. And we err on the side of caution. So if we don't know, we exercise precautionary principle. And then we do the ecosystem approach, which is to evaluate, is this going to be bioaccumulative? That means build up in a body, in human body, human tissue. Is it going to build up in the environment, soil, sediment, air toxicity, water toxicity, aquatic life toxicity? We do a terrestrial screen too. This is, you're getting pictures. This is more than you can do at home.
Yeah.
Do that for every single ingredient within a given product, and all of the ingredients, sub-ingredients. And so we're really chasing down very deeply into products, but the end result is that you have a single product with the MADESAFE certification that isn't going to be harmful to you or to use in your community. It's not going to impact negatively the web of life given the existing science and what we know today.
Wow. Well, that's a lot. And I so appreciate the work that you've done to, develop that toxicity screening and everything, because like I know from, the people I talk to and the readers of my blog and in this group that, people don't want to have to spend all that time worrying about every single thing that they buy. And they don't have a degree in chemistry, and they don't have the ability to research every single detail of, what might, disrupt my hormones and all the things, the air that you breathe. So, I think it's just such a wonderful service, because your certification gives people that ability to, trust that work has been done behind the scenes. So what I'd like to do now is just talk briefly about some of the types of products that you have certified already, and how people can find them with using your seal of approval and all of that in your website.
So one of the interesting things about what we do is that we just don't certify one area. A lot of certifications are, micro-focused, but we were looking at kind of all of the things a new mom might touch in her daily life. And so we are still building density in many areas. But we've so far certified over 1,500 products from an array of over 100 brands, and that's growing. So never fear if we don't have it today, write to us, and maybe we can get that, take a look at those products for you. But we've certified bedding, and I think that one is really important, not just the sheets and the comforters and the pillows, but the mattresses, because when you think about the way your body works, and I really like to talk about this just to say, sometimes when we talk about this, and you know this because you deal with this in your blog, people go, oh my God, head and they want to hide. This is really scary stuff. Yeah. But there's a lot that you can do, and your body is designed, it's so beautiful, to detox. And what we have to do is help it do that. So at night in particular, that's the function of the body. The rest is literally rest, rejuvenate, detoxify, get the body dumping things out of your system. So you want to create a sleep environment that's going to be non-toxic. And so I always say, if people are like, I want to go deeper, where do I start? This is a great area. And that's why we really focused on the mattress and the bedding, so that you're not retox while you're sleeping. That's just kind of, it's a non-starter there. So that's a great place to start. And then we've done baby products, things from baby bombs to baby bottles. Those are important, an important area for us. We've also done fem care and sexual health. Those are, really sensitive issues. Exposed to toxins. There's not a lot of transparency around those kinds of products. So we thought that was really important to get there and help people find. And personal care and beauty is a big area where I think it's a nice, safe way in for people. You tend to buy those a whole lot. So people are like, do I dump everything I have now that I've listened? What do I do? I've learned this. I've seen the light. And we're like, no, just use up what you have. I don't want to create waste. And the next time you need to buy soap, then make a non-toxic choice. And, we can help with that. We also, we've done, some clothing items. You'll see more of that from us. Pajamas. Pajamas is another big thing I'm really fired up about, because there's so many flame retardants.
I know.
into pajamas and materials. And again, this is all part of the sleep, but you're sleeping and you want your body to breathe. So if you're sleeping in a synthetic material, not only does it require flame retardants to meet the standard, but it doesn't let your body breathe, and it's so highly flammable. So, these are
and parents just, buy those for their kids because they think that's what they're supposed to do, but it really isn't a good idea.
No. And also, sometimes those synthetic materials, they're cheap, and they often come with the, characters, and
the branded stuff.
They're made of vinyl, which is a carcinogenic material. The PVC is going to be off-gassing. So I'm like, all of this just needs to go to the trash.
Yeah.
That's, those things, just don't buy them. That's better. And we can say a lot. And this was kind of the impetus of the business model behind MADESAFE and the certification is if we stop buying and we dry up or shrink the market for goods like that, then the companies will stop making them. And so we aim to eliminate toxins without any required legislation. When I started this, I couldn't have imagined an environment where we were actually seeing fewer regulations in the toxicity area. But both the FDA and the EPA right now have no appetite for going deeper on any of this. And we're seeing them not only roll things back, but admit more pesticides use and other really super horrific, harmful chemicals for all of us to be breathing in or ingesting. And so we need to take control in the areas we can and express consciously voting with our dollars for products that are made from a base of safe ingredients so that we can show these companies, I don't want that toxic stuff. I'm not interested in that. And that's a very powerful message. So, you can find all of these MADESAFE solutions, and you can shop by our category or, search for what you need on our website, which is www.madesafe.org. Really easy, made and safe, .org. And just off our homepage, we have our categories, so you can see those and jump in and start looking for products.
So you guys, there's a ton of helpful information on that website. So not only, like Amy was saying, you can search for products by category. So if you decide you want to look for a new shampoo or new products for your baby, you can search, find the listings, and then you can, find those online if you need to, or look for them in your stores. But then there's also, they have some great guides to products and, that are helping you understand what's wrong with the conventional products that are out there. And what to look for instead. So it's really a fantastic resource to find the safer products. And I also in this, in the module for this group, there's an explanation of the MADESAFE certification, and you can see the logo there. So that's the main thing to look for is the logo. It may be on the front of the product, it may be on the back, it may be on a label that's attached to it. Or maybe you're just searching online and you see that something's MADESAFE, and then you can find it that way. So
and we love when people go to their stores or ask their favorite brand, "Are you MADESAFE?" And if not, why not? That's we hear that is very powerful for brands coming to us. Like, well, we've been hearing this from consumers, and we wanted to learn more about it, or we think it's a good fit for us. We get very little big foundation funding. We're hoping that we'll see more of that, but we're a new organization and we created a new thing. And in fact, when I started this and started talking about it, the response from the kind of NGO and foundation community was like, good luck with that. Most, we don't think, one, we don't think you can get to market. Two, we don't think you can make it sustainable. And we've seen so many people fail. And, I came from internet creation stuff, and I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And I was like, I like hard tasks, and I think we can do this. I think we can get this out the door. And so, going back to people saying, not even 4 years later, we have 1,500 products on the, on the market bearing this seal, and we're growing, and we're working with over 100 brands. And we've done that organically. We're scaling this organically, but we don't have the money to market and go after all of these brands. So the people who are connected to wanting to live more consciously, wanting to shop conscientiously, and bringing this up with retailers and brands is hugely impactful for us. And we want to bring you more MadeSafe products. We want to make life easy because, I'm there too. Like, who has 3 days to dive into a single ingredient?
Right.
And to do that for every ingredient on, one single sunscreen, it's like, it's this, where is it? This long, and the writing is teeny tiny and the words are alphanumeric. And it's like, what is that?
Yeah, and you don't understand it. And it's confusing. And I think what I find is that people they're concerned, they're super concerned about the products, and then they're super confused. And so something like MadeSafe just helps people feel more confident, which is really the goal.
More confident, and to know, like, you are making a good choice with, with this product. You can rest assured that somebody has done all of that work, and you're just like, it's the number one thing I hear from moms. I speak all over the country and talk to people, and everybody after every presentation, I was like, can you just give me the cliff notes? Like, what is the stuff that I should buy? And that's where, you do so much research and you look at all of that too. It's like, that's what everybody wants to know. That's the Holy Grail. So we just were like, we're going to make this stupid simple.
Right. Well, that's great. Well, I hope that, this is, it's already happening, but, you're changing the playing field, and, people want to be more conscious when they shop, and I think brands want to do better too. And that's what I also appreciate, is that you're helping the brands do better. So.
Yeah, that's really a huge part. I mean, I think a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to truly craft a good ecosystem approach product, and that we need more chemistries developed. And so it's really important that we work with these companies, especially companies with large budgets who can do R&D to find, and that's research and development, to find better preservatives. Because if you want to be able to go to your local Target or Walmart to find something, the expectation for those products is that it stays what's called shelf stable. That means it doesn't separate, it doesn't change, it doesn't mildew or mold, it doesn't grow bacteria on a shelf for at least 3 years. That is a big ask if you're not going to use a preservative. And preservatives are among those, ingredients in personal care products that can be trickier and harsher on skin and cause issues, and then has a whole cascading of developmental and kind of endocrine active for them.
Yep, that's a big one for sure.
But the point is, like, we need those big companies to sink in some money to find better, safer alternatives. And so I really believe in working with those companies and just not letting them decide, well, this is what is better.
Right.
How should they go about that? Giving them a standard, one that is based in science and one that they can build towards. Now that helps them move. And then that, if we saw a big company design a better preservative, a lot of companies would start using that, work that into their products, and it changes things dramatically. So we need that behind the scenes work. So we are excited about working with companies in that capacity too. It's not particularly sexy when you're talking about it, but it's important to build.
No, but it's changing the landscape.
Better products and ingredients.
Yes. All right. Well, we do have limited time today to chat, so I just want to wrap it up by saying thank you so much for coming and sharing all about MadeSafe. And I know it's a fantastic resource, and I'm happy to, excited to share it with more people and help people understand how awesome it is, and to look for the MadeSafe seal.
Thank you. Yes, please go look for it. Follow us on social, and I'm so glad to be here. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Amy. Bye-bye.